I thought it was a child crying behind me, so I followed the footsteps. But when I looked up, the child was sitting on top of the tree, staring straight at me.
My name is Evan Calder, and this happened to me when I was 24 years old. I've never told this story out loud before because every time I think about it, I feel like something is listening. This happened after one of my night shifts. At the time, I worked as a security guard at a small factory outside the city. My shift ended at exactly 2 in the morning. I didn't have a car, so I walked home every night. The walk usually took about 15 minutes. The road was quiet, with tall trees on both sides and only a few streetlights. I had walked that road hundreds of times, so I wasn't afraid of it. That night felt normal at first. The air was cold and the moon was bright. My footsteps echoed softly as I walked. Then I heard another sound. Footsteps. They were light, slow, smaller than mine. I thought maybe it was another worker or someone walking their dog. I kept walking. The footsteps stayed behind me. I slowed down. They slowed down too. I stopped. They stopped. That's when I felt uncomfortable. I turned around. The road behind me was empty. No people, no cars, no movement. I laughed quietly and shook my head. Night shifts mess with your mind. I started walking again. The footsteps came back. This time they were closer, soft, like bare feet touching the ground. I crossed the street. The footsteps crossed too. My heart started beating faster. I stopped and turned around quickly. That's when I saw him, a child. He stood under a streetlight about 30 feet away. He looked around 8 or 9 years old. He was wearing a simple shirt and shorts. His feet were bare. What scared me wasn't that he was there. It was how still he was. He wasn't scared. He wasn't crying. He was just watching me. "Hey," I said, "what are you doing out here so late?" The child didn't answer. He tilted his head slightly, like he was listening to something I couldn't hear. I took a step toward him. He stepped back. "Are your parents nearby?" I asked. No answer. Then, without making a sound, he turned and walked toward the trees. Something inside me told me to stop, but I didn't. I followed him into the trees. The streetlight disappeared behind us. The ground was uneven, and branches snapped under my shoes. "Hey," I called, "you shouldn't be out here." The child stopped. I stopped too. He turned around slowly. Up close, his face looked wrong. Not hurt, not scary, just empty. His eyes weren't really focused on me. "You shouldn't follow," he said. His voice didn't sound like a child's voice. It sounded older, calm. That made my stomach twist. "Where are your parents?" I asked quietly. He looked past me and smiled. "They can't see me anymore." Before I could ask what that meant, he turned and ran deeper into the trees. I chased him. I don't know why I chased him. I should have turned around, but something about him felt like he already knew I would follow. He ran fast, faster than a child should. Then suddenly the footsteps stopped. I stopped too. The forest went silent. No wind, no insects, nothing. I looked around. "Hello?" I called. Then I heard a voice above me. "Why are you looking down?" I slowly raised my head, and I saw him. The child was sitting on a tree branch at least 20 feet above the ground. The branch was thin, too thin to hold anyone, but he was sitting there calmly, his legs hanging in the air. He wasn't holding on. He wasn't moving. He was perfectly still. My legs felt weak. "That's not possible," I whispered. He smiled. "I like it up here. They can't follow me." "Who?" I asked. His smile faded. "People who notice." The air felt heavy, hard to breathe. "How did you get up there?" I asked. He tilted his head. "The same way I came down." Then he leaned forward slightly and whispered, "You heard me first." The branch cracked. I screamed, but the child didn't fall. He disappeared. No sound, no movement, just gone. The broken branch swung gently in the air where he had been. I ran. I didn't look back. I didn't stop until I reached my house. The next morning I went back. I told myself it was a dream, but the broken branch was still there, high above the ground, too high for anyone to reach. I never walk that road at night anymore. And sometimes when everything is quiet, I hear small footsteps behind me. I don't turn around.
My name is Noah Whitaker, and I live alone. I didn't mind being alone until the night I realized someone else knew my routine better than I did. I work late hours at a delivery warehouse. Most nights I get home around 1 a.m. My apartment is small, just one bedroom, a bathroom, and a narrow hallway that leads straight to the front door. Nothing special. That's why it took me a while to notice something was wrong. It started with sounds. Very quiet sounds. I would be lying in bed when I heard something near the front door. Not knocking, not footsteps, just a soft movement, like someone shifting their weight. I told myself it was the building settling. Old places make noise at night. Still, I started locking my door twice before bed, sometimes 3 times. One night I came home later than usual. It was almost 2:30 a.m. The hallway lights were dim and the building was completely silent. No TVs, no voices, no footsteps. I unlocked my door, stepped inside, and locked it behind me. That's when I noticed something. My shoes were not where I left them. I always kicked my shoes off near the door. That night, they were lined up neatly against the wall, side by side, perfectly straight, like someone had taken their time fixing them. I stood there for a moment staring at them. I lived alone. No one else had a key. I checked the lock. Still locked. I picked up my phone and checked the time. 2:34 a.m. I told myself maybe I had lined them up earlier and forgot. I didn't fully believe it, but I wanted to. So I went to bed. That's when I heard breathing. Not mine. Slow, steady, coming from the other side of my bedroom door. I froze. My bedroom door was closed. I always slept with it closed. The breathing didn't move closer. It didn't move away. It stayed right there, on the other side of the door, like someone standing still, listening. I whispered, "Hello?" The breathing stopped instantly. The silence afterward felt worse. I sat there holding my phone, afraid to move, afraid to make a sound. After a long minute, I heard something else. A soft sound. Metal moving. My front door handle turning, very slowly. I stayed awake until morning. Didn't move. Didn't sleep. When the sun finally came up, I opened my bedroom door. The apartment was empty. Nothing was missing. Nothing was out of place. The front door was still locked.
but the air felt wrong, like the room had been used. That day, I installed a small camera facing the front door. I didn't tell anyone. I didn't want to sound crazy. Before going to bed that night, I checked the camera feed. Nothing. Just the door, the quiet hallway. I locked my bedroom door and lay down. Around 3 a.m., my phone vibrated. Motion detected. My heart started racing. I opened the camera app. The screen showed my front door and someone standing inches away from it, inside my apartment. I couldn't see their face. They were standing too close to the camera. All I could see was their chest rising and falling, breathing, slow, steady, like they weren't in a hurry. I watched as their hand reached out and gently touched the door handle, my bedroom door. They didn't try to open it. They just rested their hand there, like they knew I was awake, like they were waiting. My phone vibrated again, another alert, motion detected. The camera view shifted slightly. The person leaned closer to the camera and whispered, "I know you're awake." The camera view went dark, just black. No signal, no image. I didn't sleep in that apartment again. I grabbed my keys, my phone, and left before the sun came up. I didn't pack. I didn't look back. I slept in my car that night. A week later, the landlord called me. He sounded nervous. He told me something strange had happened. Someone had been living in the empty space above my ceiling, the crawl space. There were blankets up there, food wrappers, footprints in the dust. They had been watching through the vents, listening, learning my schedule, waiting for the right moment. The landlord asked if I wanted to file a report. I told him no. I just wanted it to be over. Sometimes, when I lock my door at night, I still pause and check behind it, just to be sure no one is standing there, waiting.